Howdy. Welcome. Why am I raising the roof?
I have no idea.
Staten Island Fist Pump. Welcome to the Completely Unnecessary Podcast Super Show.
I'm looking at a picture of a carnitas stuffed quesadilla taco from Del Taco. Make sure you catch our bonus episode that we just recorded.
As I was saying, this is the Completely Unnecessary Podcast.
It is.
It doesn't matter the day.
Does not.
June 1st, 2023. That's Ian. I'm Pat.
It's me.
We did talk about carnitas tacos and Jack in the Box condiments on the exclusive
Bone broth.
Patreon.com.
Yeah.
/CU podcast.
Get in there.
Bonus episode.
Get in there and check it out.
This is a super show, so there's a lot of stuff to talk about.
Sure is.
We're talking about Atari buying up game IPs willy-nilly, Disney Plus delisting shows willy-nilly, Mr. Gimmick in the news, a Zapper used in a robbery, a PlayStation device that we will tear apart, Analog Duo, Amico update plenty, and more. But no, that's really it, to be honest.
No, that's about it. That's a lot. That's a lot.
Yeah, it's been a couple of months since we got together for the first super show.
It is. It has been.
Tell me it has been?
It has been. It has been a while.
Wow. It's been what, Ian? It's been a while.
It's been too long. So yeah, I don't know. We mentioned what we'd up to in the bonus episode, but we probably should have saved it. I've been playing pinball and enjoying RC, car life, LYFE.
We talked about this like it's 35 years ago in my neighborhood.
Yeah,
all the older boys having their RC cars.
Yeah, so it's fun. It's relaxing.
The Turbo Frog.
Something always needs to be fixed on it, but it's great. I enjoy it. I like taking it apart and working on it, and that's been what I've picked up hobby-wise.
The struts and the suspension you can update. And
and the servo. I mean, but like things happen, things break, things go out of alignment, and take it apart. You go spruce it up.
Go out to the park and you put up little ramps and you do jumps, or what do you do?
I just take it to the park and find hills and shit and launch it over the hills and over roots and stuff like that.
And you got a super expensive iPhone. Your first new iPhone.
I did, and I don't want to talk about that, but I did because
I succumbed to the ecosystem.
I generally try to get the highest end phone when I buy them, and then just run them into the ground for years and years.
Well, your phone was rough. I'm not begrudging for buying a new phone. Your old phone was rough.
Yeah, it was.
It was way past its prime.
Yeah, it was. It was absolutely past its prime, especially when that person came over and tried to.
What?
I don't remember their name, but it's a person who always comes and sees us at conventions.
Okay.
And it was Long Island, and they were just like, without like talking or asking us, they tried to come behind the tables to take a picture.
Oh.
You were there. I think you know the person. And Backpack just swiped the phone off the table and onto the ground. I had that phone without a fucking scratch on it for 4 years.
Wait a minute.
4.5 years.
Someone swiped the phone off the table?
With their backpack. They were
by accident with a phone. Oh, I do remember that. I don't know who it was, but I do remember that happening.
And I was like, great. And they were like, and they just walked away. And I was
after
like,
the picture, they just walked away.
Yeah.
Well, Ian, you got to buy a $5 bumper. I always said that. I said you always need a bumper.
The thing about the phone that I got, without talking too much about it, is the reason I never got a bumper for that iPhone 8, because it felt like fucking heaven in my hand. It was one of the nicest things I have ever held in my hand. It was incredibly satisfying to just hold it, and the case took away from that. And I was careful with my phone.
It's not a case.
This asshole.
It's a bumper. It's not a case. You can still feel the back of it.
Anyways, I don't like the way this one feels without the case. So it'll be in a case forever.
Okay. Well, that's like a down payment on a car. So there you go. Yeah. But looking at we've gone from like having flip phone Motorola's and LGs where you take a video and it's like it might as well be from the 1940s, and now it's like, well, you can fucking shoot a 4K 8K video on that, and it looks like something for the theater, and it's amazing.
I will make use of the camera. It'll be way better for taking photos of pinball machines and things like that.
There you go, Ian. That's the proper use of it.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Well, especially if I want to write about them. So nice to have some pictures.
Speaking of writing, N64 books still getting done slowly but surely.
Sure is.
This summer will be pre-orders and Kickstarter. Hell or Heck Water.
Hell or Heck Water.
Heck or High Water. Hell or Heck Water sounds better.
Hell or Heck Water.
And we got NBA Finals happening tonight. We're recording on the 1st.
We sure do.
What's your prediction, Ian? How many games? What team?
Nuggets in 6.
I was going Nugs in 5.
I wanted to say 5, but I think Jimmy will show up at least twice.
Twice to win it? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, he's going to show up, but
he's going to show up. But I think he's going to show up twice to willpower a couple wins. Okay. I think because I like Jimmy.
Who doesn't like Jimmy?
But I really want to see Jokic get a title, and I love any time a team that's gone 50 fucking years without a championship.
They never won.
I'd love to see that. I generally like the Nuggets somewhat, whereas the only reason I like the Heat right now is Jimmy.
I love Spoelstra. I love Pat Riley.
Sure, it's just not usually a team I follow.
I do like the Heat culture. That is a thing. They do business the right way, it sounds like. There's not many teams that have like a real culture. Warriors have one. Heat have one. You start running out really quickly. After that, like
speaking of culture, though, I'm very, very excited for what I hope Monty Williams will bring to the Pistons.
Everyone loves Monty. Yeah, I think Phoenix did him dirty.
I do too.
That wasn't his fault.
No,
it was not his fault.
No, I think he will do good things with Detroit with our 5th place in the draft. I don't know what next year's going to look like, but a new coach was definitely in order.
And Nick Nurse went to Philly.
Oh yeah.
All these champion coaches that got fired they were getting new jobs. Budenholz got fired. I'm not sure he's going to show up somewhere. That was rough. I didn't realize his brother died during the fucking playoffs and they still fired him. That's probably why his head wasn't in it. Right? I told you about, he was not calling timeouts. He's not making adjustments. His brother just died. It's just like, holy shit. Yeah.
Wow.
I don't think they revealed it time, but like maybe that's why he wasn't coaching well, but that's probably why. He probably should have taken off. They probably should have said, you're not coaching. Like,
yeah, no shit.
It was, rough business. Thanks, Budenholz. We won a few years ago. Get the fuck out. That's basically what they said.
And the situation in Detroit is interesting because Casey.
CU Sportscast time.
Casey didn't get fired. He stepped down, took a front office role with 1 year left in his contract.
Let me tell you why I want Jokic to win, and why it was so great to see Steph Curry win last year, and why he was crying when he won.
He's humble.
No one ever said him really humble.
No, Jokic is humble. That's what I'm saying. Like he's very humble.
But that's part of it. I really root for these stars that get disrespected by the fucking media. Steph Curry was so fucking disrespected. This guy's going out as a top 10 player ever. People calling him trash. People calling him he can't win, that he's a choke artist. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about? So him winning was so good last year, especially without Durant. And the past couple years, the disrespect Nikola Jokic has been getting has been fucking insane. Getting picked next to last for all-star games, saying that he's this piece of shit. Sorry, in case you see it, Nick Wright. Saying he's like the worst MVP of the last like 40, 50 years. And the massive disrespect that the sports media gives to these great players for no reason at all, just to get attention and because it's clickbaity. It's abhorrent that they do this. Of course, fucking Skip Bayless, how he goes off on LeBron. Yep. He goes off on Steph Curry every fucking chance he gets. And it's just like, I fucking hate the sports media.
Did you see Jokic's response to the question from the other night that everyone was tweeting around?
About what? About Embiid?
No. They asked him, the one journalist was just like, do you think, would you call yourself the best player on the Nuggets right now? And he just kind of looked like, sometimes I am, sometimes I'm not, and I'm cool with that. And that was his response.
And people were saying, do you think Embiid should have won the MVP this year? Because that was like, well, people didn't want to give Jokic 3 in a row.
Right.
Even though he's better this year than last year when he won it. And he said Embiid was the best player this year. Like, he was. He deserved it. He's very humble. It's easy to root for these humble guys. But people are like, oh, but you don't want to see the Nuggets win. It's like, no, I want to see the Nuggets win. Or the Heat. I want to see them win. So I'm happy about that.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good finals. I'm excited.
It's a bullshit like, oh, that star is not marketable. Well, did you try? Did you try to market that star? Did you actually try to do it?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, did you try? So that's our CU Sportscast.
There you go.
Nick Wright, you are horrible. Let me just say that.
Our boy Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Our man.
The first bit of video game news of this super show. We're cutting right to the important stuff. Jean-Claude Van Damme is finally getting a skin in the upcoming Mortal Kombat 12. It is a pre-order skin, so that sucks huge ass. But Johnny Cage, Johnny Cage is getting a Jean-Claude Van Damme skin.
Ian, why don't you tell everyone the backstory about what happened?
Mortal Kombat was originally supposed to be a video game that was more, I don't think it was supposed to be a Bloodsport video game, but it was supposed to be heavily modeled after Bloodsport. And they tried to get Jean-Claude Van Damme in to play kind of the titular main character, the Ryu to it, and he said no. So Johnny Cage was born, and, Mortal Kombat kind of went on to be Mortal Kombat. Later on, Jean-Claude Van Damme ended up playing Guile in Street Fighter and in the game.
And Street Fighter the movie, the game.
In Street Fighter the movie, the game. Right.
Doing a digitized version of himself, so it did come true a few years later.
Kind of. And I think it left some Mortal Kombat, fans a little upset. My understanding is there has been a couple of attempts, and I don't have like facts in front of me. My understanding is there's been a couple of attempts where they've reached out to him and been like, do you want to be involved in this in any way? Because in the past, especially in Mortal Kombat 11, probably 10, they did bring like old actors and stuff in as skins, like the old actors for Johnny Cage and stuff like that, as skins for the character. But this time he finally agreed. So that's, I don't want any sort of deluxe edition of fucking Mortal Kombat 12. But if there's one thing that's going to get me to fucking do it, it would be this.
Good news, bad news. Good news, Van Damme's in the game.
Bad news.
Bad news is
$105.
You have to pay either $110 for the premium edition, when it has the combat pack, or the collector's edition for $250.
Oh, wait, so it's going to be in the combat pack. So the combat pack might not be included in the regular one, but you could buy it later.
It says in this article, the combat pack featuring Van Damme will be included in both the premium edition and the collector's edition of Mortal Kombat 1.
Included, yeah.
The premium edition will cost $110. You're saying maybe later they'll have it separate.
I don't think it's going to be later. I think that's how these usually do it. Like if you go online right now and you buy the Street Fighter 6, the premium edition, it includes the Season 1 pass. That's what you're buying. That's what makes it premium.
You have to buy it extra anyway, what you're saying.
I would have to, if I bought a $60 copy of Mortal Kombat 12, I would have to buy that extra money anyway.
It's not 12, it's Mortal Kombat 1.
Right, which is silly.
Even though Mortal Kombat 92 was 1, I don't know how this works. So like my brain starts, this is a prequel, so I guess it's really 0.
The joy in Mortal Kombat is not thinking too hard about it.
But now they're forcing me to, because now this is really Mortal Kombat 0.
No, it's not a prequel.
It's not before Mortal Kombat 1? It's a retelling of 1.
It's just a fucking reboot, I think.
Of 1.
Was
it 9 a reboot?
So I think what it is they're kind of...
10 was.
They're kind of rebooting the story. Basically, I think they're taking some basic concepts of the characters that were at the end of 11. They're just cutting out some bullshit and then putting the characters back in and starting again. That's why it's fun.
It's a ridiculous series.
It is.
And now it's become like Smash Brothers, but for like adult themed characters with all like, we're going to get Leatherface in there. We're going to get Freddy Krueger in there. We're going to get fucking Terminators in it. We went through the list. Stallone was in there as Rambo, right? What else we got? Alien Predator.
The best one, honestly, was
Jason Voorhees.
Same company makes the Injustice games.
RoboCop's in there,
which I love to death. The Injustice games are so fucking good.
Oh, are they?
The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles DLC for that was fucking phenomenal.
Ninja Turtles fighting superheroes?
Yeah.
Okay.
And you could be all 4 of the turtles. It was just palette swaps, but it was really fun.
Okay.
Yeah. So I enjoy that they have fun with these games. I don't think that they're ever quite taken as seriously as other ones. You'll see it in the tournaments for a couple of years, but it fades out before Tekken and stuff does. But I don't think anyone making a fighting game these days is necessarily having more fun doing it than the people who are writing these absolutely absurd stories.
Oh, I'm sure. Here's the problem with it. Since this series involves lots of death that Street Fighter doesn't, it's hard to keep it continuing.
Which is why it's in fucking sane, because they have to keep finding ways to rewind time and bring people back to life.
Like Street Fighter's we just do a tournament.
Right.
No one's getting killed. We just beat each other up. We come back. You can build stories on that. What? Six is coming out, right? It's like, you can build a story on
the original Dragon Ball, like a third of the fucking episodes, or a quarter, are just like tournament episodes. Sure. And it's fun. The fucking, Bloodsport was fun for it. The happenings behind the scene at the tournament, the wheelings and dealings, the drama.
The military get involved, trying to get the police trying to stop Van Damme from competing.
Love me a good tournament story.
No, that's the best. Going back to Enter the Dragon. That's
God, it's so good. So good. I love Enter the Dragon.
Well, you can go on a limb there.
Oh, well, yeah.
It's a classic.
I do like Return of the Dragon better.
I always get them mixed up, the 4 movies in my head.
Enter the Dragon, Bolo Young, Room of Mirrors. Return of the Dragon, Chuck Norris, Coliseum.
Return of the, okay, that's when they take on the mob.
Yes.
Got it. Okay. The Mafia that's one of that. Gotcha. Then the Chinese Connection is when the Chinese are versus the Japanese studio. Okay, that's where he beats up the. Okay, there's like 4 movies they had to worry about, and then Game of Death they didn't finish, unfortunately. So
it's Fists of Fury. Yeah, Fists of Fury.
It's also called the Chinese Connection.
Yeah,
there's 2 names for all these.
I know it is Fists of Fury. Yeah. I'm sorry, I just was trying to connect that in my head.
Yeah, there's 4 of them. Anyway, what was I gonna say? I don't fucking know.
Moving on from Mortal Kombat.
We did a podcast so long I forgot how to do it.
It's the last weekend for something special that you were involved in.
As a production partner of Con the Musical, the parody Tractacular, off Broadway until June 4th. Go see it if you're in New York City. Tickets are actually probably going to be selling out. By the time you listen to this, you might have a day left. So go help out our pal Breno Floss, who wrote this and it's gotten rave reviews for off Broadway, and I'm proud of everyone involved with it. And that's about it. And maybe I'll see it at some point. maybe I'll get to see what I helped put money into. That's kind of weird how that works. I looked at flights. Like, maybe I'll go out for the rap party. I'm like, no, I'm not. I can't be spending $1,200 just to fly across the country and back for a day. It's just like my body's old and worn out. Even though the collagen pills are helping.
They're helping.
They're helping. We talked
They're
about that
doing it.
And then a new Flea Market Madness is out. We shot it. Frank and I shot it a couple weeks ago. Absolutely nothing there, but it's still one of the better episodes because Frank was on point.
This is what I kind of tried to tell you before. You don't need to find stuff for this to be interesting. People just like watching you do this.
Well, hearing me, my witty repartee.
Yes,
but it's more interesting when you find nice stuff. It is.
I'm sure.
I spent $15.50. That's not an official swap meet. To me, it's always $25. It's like playing 5 innings of a baseball game.
It's not an official swap meet.
No, I mean Frank spent as much as I did. There was nothing there. I found a light phaser from one of my pals. I bought a Sega light phaser. Like obviously I had like 3 of them, but it's like there's nothing else out there to buy. I missed out on GameCube games by 5 minutes. Someone else I knew missed out. Those were probably good. Probably didn't go for cheap, but
I was going to say I would be surprised if they were bargains.
Yeah, some probably got in 15, 20 each. They're probably worth like 40, 50 each. Probably bought like 10 of them. That's my guess. Something like that. So it is what it is. But we're going to do at least 2 more episodes. We'll get to 50s, 5s, and 0s on Flea Market Madness. And then for that point, I don't know. Because it's you do the same thing for 15 years. And at some point, it's like, I got to rest. Who's not resting? Atari.
No.
Atari. Remember that the last podcast we talked about the Super Show. You could invest in Atari. Remember that, Ian?
Yeah.
You could invest in their new games about their old IPs. Well, maybe Atari decided we can't squeeze any more blood out of the stone anymore on these old IPs. We got to buy a bunch of ones that already exist to try to do something.
Yeah, we're going to squeeze the shit out of stuff that never had much blood to begin with.
Sure.
Atari bought a bunch of IPs with the heavy hitters.
So first of all, they didn't announce all of them in the press release, but they said more than 100 PC and console titles from the 80s and 90s. And these are the heavy hitters that they announced.
Bubsy. And my personal favorite, when this is making the headline, Hardball. That baseball game that you got when someone bought you the wrong baseball game for the Genesis.
It was a semi-popular series on PC,
yes.
And Genesis in like the early 90s. There was like 5 or 6 or 7 of them. But it died after that. Like it had its like 5-year run and that was it.
Right.
Like how many Hardball games? Was there 5 of them? I remember playing it. Ballistic presents Hardball. Like I remember playing Hardball.
Yeah.
It was a popular Genesis game.
Yep. I played it on Genesis too.
So the point is this, like Ian said, if that's all you get out of this press release is Bubsy, which is now a joke meme on the internet, the Bubsy series, and Hardball, there were 6 Hardballs. I was right. Hardball 85.
7.
I was Jesus Christ, I was in the ballpark, Ian. Yeah, everyone played Hardball in the Genesis. It must have been 2 or 3. Because 3 was in 92. That's probably the one everyone had was 92.
I remember seeing it on the shelf. My first time seeing it, I remember seeing it on the shelf of a PC game store that I went to with my dad. And then, I played it on the Genesis.
So these are Accolade games, by the way.
Yes, exactly.
Bubsy and Hardball are Accolade published games.
However, oh, no, go ahead. Just remind me that I have something to say. Here
Ian has something to say.
Something weird. A little nugget.
Now you threw me off. The issue is that, like, if I look up Accolade games, so they probably bought the Accolade library of games. Like, let's. But
wasn't Accolade in and of themselves only a publisher, not a developer?
I think so. No, it looks like they developed Hardball. So Accolade had 100.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Accolade had 146 games. Looks like they did develop about half of them. Just scrolling through this.
Okay.
Stuff like Star Control 2.
Star Control would be a series to come back.
Bread Hole Hockey. They published that. Balls.
God, Balls is awful.
Some later Jack Nicklaus PC games. The Test Drive games. That's another one.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but I believe Test Drive already got. I think Atari. Test Drive did have Atari had Test Drive in the early 2000s when they came back to publishing for a little while.
Okay.
They did publish Test Drive on the PS2 and the PlayStation or the Xbox.
Turrican, at least the first one. I'm not sure if they sold the rights to these, but so that's the point. Those are the highlights I just gave you. Star Control is not a known game anymore, but
it's a great game, but that's about.
But yeah, the 90s, no one knows about it anymore.
Right.
You know,
they didn't just buy Accolade though. They bought. I think they got other stuff too. Oh God, I lost it. They purchased M Network games. They purchased the library to the M Network games, which this is interesting and it's interesting for later. M Network games were, if I'm not mistaken, in television games that were
ported over.
Astro Blast was on the list on the link that I just clicked.
Where was that in their press release by M Network?
So hold on, let me follow what I did here. Go to the Eurogamer article.
Okay.
And then scroll down.
Scroll.
I think it was here. Where was it?
Because it does mention some Microprose games. And it mentions Infogrames.
Just Infogrames. I would just say
Control F,
Atari M Network. Maybe it wasn't in that one. I followed some links.
Okay.
Here it is. Atari announces acquisition of M Network, Atari 2600 titles, and related trademarks. That includes. Where the fuck is it? Okay. This one. Here we go.
It's on the Wikipedia.
Here it is. The collection includes fan favorites Armor Ambush, Astro Blast, Frogs and Flies, Space Attack, and Star Strike. That Astro Blast bit is very interesting to me.
Well, it's not Astro Smash, but...
Astro... That's right. Astro Blast is Astro Smash, but a different name. You're right. Okay. Sorry.
So they're basically getting the ports of these games.
I believe.
So, Armor Ambush. It's on the Wikipedia. Star Strike is one of the better known... I mean, there's not been a lot of better known television games, but Star Strike's one of them. So... We're starting to see, which we'll get to later, the cannibalization of the Intellivision
of these libraries
IP.
Yeah,
basically. But so there's Infogrames on here, and there's some Microprose games. F117A, which I had on my 4-pack, which has Civilization.
They were also on the Genesis.
F14 Air Combat. So this is the point I'm going to get to. This is not good for Atari. I mean, it's good that they expand their libraries, but they got nothing left. Nothing left. They're just going to buy out Bubsy. What are they going to do with Bubsy? They're going to do a Bubsy re-release pack with all the Bubsy games?
A popular American import reseller tactic is you buy lots. And you realize when you buy lots that you're going to get a lot of crap in there, but you're going to get some gems too. They just bought a lot of shit that they're. I mean,
what's the gem, Bubsy?
Yeah, there's none.
Hardball.
That's what I'm getting at. They have nothing. They have nothing in here. There's no 2D side-scrolling shooter for the PC Engine in here that's magically going to sell for them and make all the other stuff worthwhile.
Is there
they just bought crap?
Is there a hardcore hardball community that updates the ROM every year for new rosters, like they do with the NHL games and they do with Tecmo Bowl? Like,
no, that's RBI. I think RBI
I'm being
is
facetious.
the big one.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
No one's doing it with hardball. Right. That's my point. Like, these games don't have real followings, right? Like they really don't. So that's Atari. Like, what are you gonna do? At least it's better than, again, cryptocurrency and hotel casinos. At least,
sure.
But Atari peaked with the 50th anniversary collection. Like, they peaked. What else going
on? We updated the rosters of Hardball 3 with Al Michaels. This was 2016, though. So
okay.
It's that reason.
I got an update 7 years ago. There you go.
Ian happening somewhere.
Ian was a producer and checked on me for that. What else is happening here? Pac-Man 99. I was not a fan of Pac-Man 99.
I didn't like it
We talked
either.
about it. Was that a couple years ago at this point?
Yeah.
People got on me. Some douchebag pro Pac-Man gamer did like a video about us. I remember the time was like, oh, these guys don't understand. I didn't like the game. I don't think it's a fun game. I don't think it's intuitive.
I love Pac-Man. It definitely could have been a good game. It was not a good game.
We love playing the championship one in the arcade. He loved the Xbox one.
And there was one on fucking Stadia. The only game I really wanted to play on Stadia, besides Gunsport, which ended up getting released later, was what they called, I believe it was called Pac-Man Tunnel Battle or something like that.
Okay.
And it was basically, my understanding of it was multiple instances of battle running at once,
And then you combine the winners?
It was just mini tournaments.
That's what 99 should have been.
That's what I thought 99 was.
That's what we all thought. And then there was like all these mechanics to unlock fucking costumes and getting Pac-Man Jr.'s little top.
I
little
fucking
hat.
hated it. I hated it so much.
Well, here's
I
the
went
point.
back to it and then
No, it's not good.
no, it was bad.
Here's the point. Even though the game was trash, it's already being delisted in October, which is a travesty.
Trash games shouldn't, just because it's a trash game doesn't mean I want to see it delisted. This just keeps fucking happening.
It's been only a couple years, right?
And this, these two topics go great together. It's what's happening in TV.
Streaming.
As well?
We're at a really weird tipping point with streaming that's been happening right now, post-pandemic.
I think we're past it at this point.
But I mean, like we're seeing this huge correction that's happening.
Yes.
On the business side. So Pac-Man 99 was, remember, it's free. Then there's so much shit that you have to pay for to get like themes and different alternative characters.
The only thing that was neat about it was the themes were really kind of some of the themes were cute looking. Like I looked at them online
for different games, right?
Yeah,
like Galaga and
if you're a Namco,
Rally,
X guy like me, it's fun.
Fanboy Stan.
It's fun to like look at how they rethemed Pac-Man mazes with all these different titles. But no, the game just at its base was a little random for me.
IGN gave it 7 out of 10. So what the hell do I know? They said a smart multiplayer twist on a classic. I didn't think it was smart.
No, it wasn't smart at all.
Because the championship was like, that was the pinnacle to me. Simple, easy, and quick.
And it's never come to home consoles.
Yeah, it came out April 2 years ago. So it's going to be delisted in 2.5 years. And Bandai Namco is not a small company, by the way.
No.
Like this is, I feel bad if you spend, I'm not saying, if you spend $300 on this, you're not smart. I'm just going to say like overall. But I feel bad if you spent money on this and now it's going to be unplayable. Like that is bad. I think you can play like some local thing maybe. I don't know. The players who downloaded either of the major DLCs will be able to continue playing the CPU battle, blind time attack, and score attack modes in offline mode. So at least you'll have that. But multiplayer, how much money can it take to keep? They're not making money anymore. That's the bottom line. And no one's buying it. They're taking it down. They're losing money and keeping the servers up. That's it.
Yep.
And Bandai Namco is not a small company. This isn't like a smaller product. So it's like they should be able to afford it. Whatever. It sucks.
Yeah. And, Disney Plus is getting rid of Willow.
Which is not even a year old.
6 months.
And it's not going to be available on their service anymore on Disney Plus. With a bunch of other shows, dozens of other shows.
Who knows where they're going to fucking end up.
That's the point. So this started with Quibi being a fucking huge disaster. People rushed into the streaming wars. Let's build up. Disney Plus launched during the pandemic, like a year in. It's only like 2 years old, really, Disney Plus. A little over 2 years old.
That was during the pandemic?
Yeah, it launched I think it was December 2020, I believe. It launched. When did Disney Plus? It wasn't before the pandemic. Disney Plus launched.
No, I believe you. That's just, that shows how crazy my sense of, how much the pandemic screws up.
It launched
November 12th, 2019.
Right before the pandemic. Okay.
Yeah, okay. I was going to say, I thought
Pat's wrong. It's been 3.5 years.
I just thought it was fall. It was around during the pandemic.
Okay. But it got bigger during the pandemic, Mandalorian, whatever. The streaming services, Netflix has really realized this with all their, now you can't share as much as you did. We're going to crack down on password sharing. They realized that we had no fucking clue what we were doing and how to price out content versus subscriptions and retention.
There was a period of time where subscriptions were climbing so much that it didn't really matter.
We'll just throw money at it.
Now that everyone has a Netflix subscription.
They had no idea what they were doing. They didn't. And I think the other networks then realized, oh shit, now we realize they didn't know what they're doing. And so our strategy was following like Netflix. Now we're realizing that we put in a lot of front costs that are bad. So basically what this means is that like, hey, Willow is gone because they realize we have to make a return on the investment in that show, and we ain't getting it through Disney Plus. We have to sell it somewhere else or put it somewhere else where people will buy it. That's what this is.
Yeah.
For all this stuff. We undervalued our content to get a bunch of new subscriptions, and now new subscriptions have stopped. And now what do we do with this content that's sitting there? This is a problem going forward, because now we have, 5 or 6 popular streaming services. Netflix, Disney Plus, Hulu, HBO Max, we're launching as Max, Paramount, Peacock, whatever. Am I missing another big one? Those are the big ones, we'll say 6.
I think so.
These all aren't going to survive long term, I don't think. I don't think they can.
No, they can't possibly fucking survive long term, and they're all going to have to eventually. What we're going to see is more mergers,
or it goes back to, and we're not even counting Prime, but Prime is a loss leader because they make so much fucking money it doesn't matter. Like, so that
streaming is the delivery service, but yeah, I think it's just going to go back to a basic all-in-one cable package.
I don't know. I just think streaming services they're going to disappear, and it's going to go back to, well, you want to see Willow season 2, you're going to spend $15-20 to see it. It's not free anymore. I think it's going to regress back a little bit to what it used to be, like 10 years ago.
I honestly don't know that I care.
But I'm just saying that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, but I think that's fine. Like, just let me pay. Like, go back to the fucking DVD model. I loved going. There was a time where I actually watched like TV shows, and I loved going to the fucking store and buying a season of something and then committing to it. Like, that's I would rather do that, because when I have streaming services, they go unused until something hits that I want, and then I fucking use the shit out of it, and then it's gone.
I forget I have Netflix. See, Amazon Prime doesn't count because people get Prime for the free shipping, and then they get a really good streaming service on top of it.
Yeah.
Jack Ryan season 4, final season coming in June, by the way. Happy about that. So that doesn't count. Like I said, they can throw money at anything. Doesn't matter. They have so much fun.
No, that doesn't count at all.
So that'll be around forever. But like, Disney must have made Willow and realized, oh, we bring back Willow because we don't have a lot of old properties outside of Indiana Jones and Star Wars that we can make stuff for. Then they realize no one cares about Willow enough to buy the service just for Willow, probably. So it's like, what the fuck did we just do?
Right, you're spending money.
What did we just do?
And I'm not saying I've heard it's good. I want to actually watch Willow. But
besides the point.
But you're spending money to make something that is not netting you any more money in return,
and not retaining potential people.
Right,
because people are signing up for Disney Plus for superheroes and Star Wars. That's it. Not this National Geographic stuff, because that shit's gone. Like, if you look at the list of stuff,
it's all the Nat Geo stuff. I liked that stuff.
but okay, Ian. Well,
I know, but it's gone.
It's going to be gone.
Yep.
They realize that we have to, maybe with Hulu, that stuff will go to Hulu. Maybe they realize we have to do that. I'm not even counting like ESPN Plus, because people are into that and things like that. That's a streaming service, but that's sports.
Speaking of Disney, though, I did blow through Mandalorian season 2, Book of Boba Fett, and Mandalorian season 3 over the past month. It was all right.
So you got through, was it 4 seasons in total?
So I had watched season 1.
Okay.
Vonnie watched season 2 without me when I was out of town once, and I wanted to watch season 3, so we rewatched it. So I watched 3 seasons in a month, basically. Because Book of Boba Fett it's largely just Mandalorian season 3 and Mandalorian season 3.
Because he shows up, Mandalorian shows up in Boba Fett a little bit?
Towards the end.
So it's like a half season. But they're doing another Boba Fett season, aren't they?
They might be.
They have to. What else do they have going on with the Star Wars series right now?
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean,
anyways, but
Ahsoka's coming. Right?
Yeah. But I think Mandalorian got stopped, or something got stopped because of the writer's strike, and only Andor was the one that didn't stop, which pissed some people off.
It was pissed off that it was still going?
Yeah.
Well, they probably have the scripts written. If you have the scripts written, you can produce them. That's how it works.
But I mean, obviously the writer's strike is kind of in response to this stuff too. They don't want to keep anything on there because they don't get residuals.
Mighty Ducks is gone from the service. So older movies, Supernatural series is gone. Willow's going. The World According to Jeff Goldblum is going. I forgot that was a launch title.
That was
a launch series. Just Beyond, there's some Nat Geo stuff, but actually not as much as I thought. So some stuff. The Big Fib, Black Beauty. What, the old movie Black Beauty, the live action one we all saw as a kid. Artemis Fowl, the live action movie, I guess from a couple years ago, was that animated or live action?
I think it was live action.
I have no fucking clue. Anyway,
you know it's not going anywhere.
What's not being delisted, Ian?
UltimateNintendo.com.
What can you find there, Ian?
You can find books, Twitch, Pat.
What?
Join the button next to subscribe. Google Play and Microsoft
Ian's
Store.
brain just shut down. You can get certain NES Super Nintendo guidebooks. You can get RBI baseball stickers, CU podcast enamel pin.
Oh, that's right.
Pin.
The RBI baseball
T-shirts.
stickers. How could I forget?
I just sold a small T-shirt last week. Buy the small and medium shirts we got there. Or a small. Oh, if you have a small dog or medium-sized dogs, cut off
Small dog.
medium-sized dog. You can fit in that. And I'll be on Twitch every Wednesday. Twitch.tv/CountryCode as well. Over 3 years strong doing that.
Nice.
I have on here that
Congratulations.
I have Pathania's Punk 15th anniversary with a question mark. No, it's happening. The anniversary. I don't want the question mark. But I don't know how much I want to talk about it right now. But I will be doing an episode. It may not come out. The 50th anniversary / of the YouTube channel is June 24th, 2008. I'll be at Too Many Games that weekend in Oaks, PA.
I think you were there. I think you were there for your 10th anniversary too, because
it's always the same weekend. So I'm not sure I'm going to have the episode out for that, but it'll be out by early July. We'll just say it will be a more reflective episode. It's not going to be the 50th anniversary of Ian holding a gun to Frank's head sort of thing. It'll be more reflective. There'll be a joke here or there, but more reflective. 15 years is a long time, and I think that's now we're getting to like the.
You've reached Luna video games territory.
What do you mean?
I did Luna video games for 15 years.
Oh wow, that's a long time to do anything in life.
Sure as fuck is.
But for a YouTube show, obviously it's and yes, there's less episodes per year. It's like 3 episodes a year now. Well, whatever. Things change. You can't have, expect someone to do a TV show for 15 years because almost no TV show lasts 15 years. It's like 0.1% lasts that long, if that. Oh, Gunsmoke and what else? Law and Order. Like that's, if you don't count wrestling, But I'll also probably do a little sit in a chair and talk about it video before then. Maybe that'll come out on the 24th. Either way.
The 15th anniversary fireside chat with Pat Contry.
Yeah, I quit my job 10 years ago video last year that blew up. It's always, that's what gets me discouraged about YouTube. It's like obviously the effort you put into it does not correlate with views at all.
Yeah, one of the biggest video, a really popular video that we did was also my 50th. People love it when people reflect on a long period of time. Because when I left Luna, that was a pretty big episode that we did. Got a lot of views.
That segment got a lot of views?
Yeah. At least according to you, you were the one who told me that it blew up. And then I know your 10-year video or your
quitting my job
video you did. Yeah, that one.
Yeah, I got over 100,000 views.
Big.
And for me, it's just I sat down and just bullshitted for like 40 minutes with bullet points. That's what people want. But it's just like, okay. What am I doing? I'm working too hard. Sort of a corollary to that is Mr. Gimmick is now available for pre-order. The updated, not remake. I mean, it's a modern version of the old game on limited run games.
That's right.
It's available with a plush. I got there first with my custom plush.
That's right.
It's going to be on Switch, PS4, I guess other platforms, Xbox, I think. And the soundtrack will be on vinyl. There you go, Ian. You can get the vinyl if you want.
I do want the soundtrack. I'm getting that through, I believe, Ship to Shore.
So the game itself is $35, and you can get the special edition with the plush for $75. So right now it's just PS4 or Switch. No Xbox. I'm surprised about that. So gimmick makes good.
No, it's on Switch.
I said Switch or PS4, no Xbox.
Oh, PS4, no Xbox. Okay.
So it's cute. It comes with a CD disc. What's on the CD? And is that the soundtrack as well? I'm guessing the CD.
I would guess that's
for $75.
Soundtrack, yes.
Where's the details? See details. Okay. Yeah. You get let's see. The pre-orders close on June 18th. You get an enamel pin, keychain to get the soundtrack. You get the plush of Yumataro. I just call him Gimmick. He's my pal. And a reversible cover like my raincoat. Stupid. What reference is that, Ian? What movie? Spaceballs.
Yeah, that's it. Sorry.
Can you shut it off? I can't. It's irreversible. Like my raincoat. And it's not a numbered release. It's not part of Limited Runs Games Collection. Oh, interesting. That's right. They have a number for the regular releases. Mm-hmm. They are distributing the title on behalf of Sunsoft. Okay. Missing out on this release will not compromise a complete limited run set. That's just funny because I guess people are collecting every single numbered release.
It is, but I think it's kind of funny too because I can't imagine there's any collector out there that literally goes, "Oh, okay, that one doesn't matter."
Sure.
I mean, it's put out by Limited Run. I can't imagine there's anyone who's just like, okay, fine.
It's just interesting. It goes back to, I'm going to reference this probably in the Pat the Xbox 50th anniversary that, I did a video on it that probably not everyone's, but a lot of people's first introduction to the game in 2011. I did the video. I think I told you I edited it in 24 hours before I went to Portland. And it's just interesting seeing this stuff. This makes me realize how fucking old I am. That's the point. Like I mean, that's what it is.
Sure.
I'm too fucking old because now it's getting a good re-release. There you go, Ian. And you're gonna need it because it's hard to get those treasures. You're gonna need that rewind option.
Oh yeah,
for that.
absolutely.
You don't get the good ending unless you get. I never to this day have not gotten the third or fourth treasure. Like one of the treasures is so fucking hard to get.
Oh, I thought you beat it officially.
Not with the good ending. The shitty ending. I never got all the treasures.
Oh.
Because one of the treasures, you can always die and go back.
Yeah.
But like
one of the treasures you get like one chance or something, right?
But like
or it's timed and you only get one opportunity.
But you can die, but like lives are scarce in this game. Like
Sure.
it's a tough game. That's the point. So I think it's the third or fourth treasure that I never got playing it regularly. I'm just like, okay, well, use that rewind feature and keep trying, to do it. There you go. I think it's fun. Or you can get the Three Stooges. Or you can get the three. It's just funny because when I saw that, I saw that I'm like, well, Mr. Gimmick never came out here. If you want to get the Scandinavian version, it's now worth like $500 for just a car. I think it's blown up. It's blown up. It's a lovely game. Three Stooges is not a bad game, but no one cares about it. That's why, except for me. It was literally the second video I did, and it was one of those things where like, well, we're talking literal. Blew up because of boomers in the 50s. They were, short films in the 30s and 40s, got popular. They were on vaudeville before that with Shemp. And then it went to Curly, the youngest brother, when Shemp retired from that and did real movies. I'm not going to go into the whole lore of Three Stooges, but I know a lot. So he's like, please God. So the point is that like in the 80s, they did a PC game for like the adults, the boomers that were in their 30s that grew up watching it on TV. And then they did an NES game. But I was excited about because Three Stooges were big still in the 80s into the early 90s because they were on TV a lot for kids.
Oh, yeah, they were on syndication after Saturday morning cartoons in the 80s.
Or sometimes in the afternoons. And they also still would do like New Year's Eve marathons. Now they do for Twilight Zone. It was Three Stooges back then.
Sure.
They did. So the point is that it was just weird to see that offered. I'm not saying it's wrong to offer it, but like it's Three Stooges. Like no one besides like a hardcore set of folks like me would care about Three Stooges to get on the NES, or I just thought it was funny.
Yeah, that's one that I don't understand. Don't understand the need to re-release Three Stooges.
And a scary, lighter story, which we talked about this happening. I think one of the earlier podcasts, which I think is funny. History is repeating itself. A Zapper was used in a robbery, and I think this happened on an early podcast.
Early episode. I think I may have brought. Maybe. I think I've also brought up there was a famous case in, I think it was Brazil, where someone like
a Sega phaser. Yes.
There was a standoff with police and the guy was holding a Sega phaser.
That might have been part of it. But this was a Zapper used in a robbery. Obviously, no one was hurt because it was a Zapper. So this is from USA Today article from Natalie Nisa Alund. Man is facing felony criminal charges after police say he used a pistol-shaped controller from the 1980s Nintendo game Duck Hunt to rob a South Carolina business. David Joseph D'Alessandro, 25, is charged with armed robbery with a deadly weapon. I just think it's funny. They have to charge you with a deadly weapon, or else people get away with trying this without a deadly weapon.
Absolutely.
So, there's no loopholes here. It's like, oh, it wasn't really a deadly weapon. it was a prank, bro. No. You're going to get charged.
No, for all intents and purposes, it's a real weapon, and people will react.
Yes.
He could have gotten killed, and
people thought they were going to get killed.
Exactly. Yeah. That's the point. Yeah, he painted it. I guess if you stuck it in a waistband and someone didn't know if it's painted, maybe.
He painted it black.
It's painted black, and it's got the gray handle. So yeah, I mean, in a waistband, that's going to be enough to scare people. Fucking. I'm glad that she's okay. That's an idiot move.
Oh, yeah, you're going to prison for like 10 years at least.
Yep.
Armed robbery is not treated lightly. That's not a third striking you're out thing.
Yeah, exactly. Like using the fake gun instead of a real gun. Excuse me.
Okay.
Yeah. It's the sparkling
You're
water.
gurgling up from the, what is that? Waterloo?
Waterloo.
It's called Waterloo?
Is the brand. Yeah.
Is it good?
It's really good.
Cherry limeade, does that say?
Yeah.
I gotta check
They
that
do
out.
a grape that is out of this fucking world. And I always get the grape.
I don't even had a grape seltzer water.
That's why I love it so much, because no one else does it, and grape is like my favorite flavor.
Ian, this is why I do the podcast more often. I'm not fine about seltzer water flavors.
You could listen to Extra Napkins. Anyway,
Cheap plug.
moving on.
We're all about the PlayStation State of Play here in the CU podcast. Every year we do our special.
Every year.
It's
the big special.
We do our live Twitch stream or our live reaction.
In behind the scenes conversations, Pat and I always refer to it as the big one.
Yes.
There's only one big one a year.
We take off the next day like a Super Bowl party. Yes, I cater. I have a cold cut spread. We do for it.
I'll probably buy a PS5 at some point, but I've just been so uninterested in the not modern gaming.
No. Keep going.
Okay.
You're onto my thought.
Not modern gaming, but in modern console gaming. I enjoy playing modern games, PC games. I enjoy playing, fucking independent games, small games. I don't enjoy playing these big AAA games anymore, and that's the main impetus to buy these systems.
And guess what? No one else is either, which is why they are desperate enough to try this horrible fucking idea that we're about to discuss.
So the Project Q initially made waves a few, I would say maybe 2 months ago. I think it was around the time we did our last podcast, that Sony might have been working on a new handheld system.
Mm-hmm.
And then pictures of the Project Q leaked, and people were like, that looks dumb, that's got to be fake, et cetera, et cetera. And then rumors started to slip out around it that it might actually just be a portable screen that you can use within your house. And that's what it ended up being.
With they literally cut a controller in half and glued it to each side of the screen. Is what it looks like.
Yeah, I don't think it's particularly slick looking.
Oh no, it looks cumbersome.
Yes,
I'll say that. So it's called still Project Q, and they unveiled this
later this year.
Okay, it's going to come out later this year. Screen is big. It's like an 8-inch screen. That's a big screen on that. Big screen. It's a PS5 controller, cut in half. We didn't really think about form factor that much, but we'll do that. There's little earbuds that they have next to it in this promo ad, and there you go. We have no idea what this is going to cost.
They said that they're guessing between $199 and $299, according to an early estimate of its currently known bill of materials. So there's not a lot you can hold on to there. I think $199 sounds awfully cheap for it, but I think that's probably the only price point you'd ever move that at to hardcore fans.
But if that's the bill of materials, then they got to charge a lot more than that, Sony.
So I don't know who this is for. People buy these systems to hook up to their big fancy OLED TVs.
They're 4K TVs, yes.
And to play to play modern games. And if you like that stuff, that's what I haven't found one that's grabbed me recently. But you want to be immersed. These are the movies of games. These are the movies of games now. That's like saying regular theater goers want to just watch their films on a smaller screen. The PlayStation 5 is not a portable. They're going for a market that I don't think really exists.
We are, believe it or not, because we are in the middle age of the PS5. We are 2.5 years into the life of the PS5. And could you tell we were? No. You can't. Because at this point, there's not many big releases that come out that get your attention besides 2 or 3 a year. Or it's just wow, that's coming on the PlayStation.
What's
5?
insane to me is just how well it's sold. But I just don't know. Yeah,
not compared to the PS4, it hasn't.
Oh, okay, sure.
I'll get into the numbers soon. PS4 sold over 100 million, I believe. I'll look it up real quick. PS4 sales lifetime. And you can still buy a PS4 new, can't you? 117 million the PS4, right?
All right?
That's damn good.
Yeah, it does.
For a console. PS5, it's not going to be even half that, I don't think. 38 million in 2.5 years. That's not going to reach 100. You could say with it's not.
Sure.
It's gonna. So we're talking about a console that will end up probably 2/3 of the console before that. That's not good for Sony. Obviously, long term. Ian just said, I don't see a reason to buy the PS5 at this point.
Yeah, I don't.
2.5 years in.
And I don't know that I'm in the position that everyone is, but I bought a new laptop for work last year or 2 years ago, and it can play those games just fine. I mean, a lot of them, and not at the same quality, but like, here's the point. There's nothing that makes me have to go rush out and get it. If my experience is good enough, I can still have that experience.
Sure.
I'm not blocked from having that experience until I buy the system, like, you would be with NES games or something like that. Everything's on everything now.
Sure. So this is a way for Sony to be like, well, we're not hitting that 100 million mark anytime soon, probably. Let's try to sell new hardware to some of our install base.
Right.
That just spends $600 on our console or more. You know what I mean? Like, so I don't know. I don't think this is going to work. I don't think they know their audience when it comes to this to do that. I mean, like, this is the Wii U. This is the Wii U, right?
Yeah.
It's buying a $200. If it's $200, then I'd be shocked.
Yeah, me too. I'm just saying.
$250, $300 streaming device.
Oh, you want to hear the best thing about the PlayStation Q, though?
Oh, there's more. There's more.
Oh, there's a real good one. This was, I just remembered that I blew past this yesterday. PlayStation Project Q battery life might shock you.
Oh, I think I read this. Go on.
3 to 4 hours.
If you're in your house, that's not terrible. Because remember, you can't take this on the plane,
right?
Like the Switch. It's not good, but I mean, like, it's not. Remember, you got to be in your house.
Yeah, yeah.
This is the Wii U, so like who is this for? Can you take this out?
It's only used for remote play, so it does look like if you have a Wi-Fi connection, you could use this elsewhere.
You could stream from the cloud somewhere.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
But still, we're talking about remote play, cloud play, 3 to 4 hour battery life. I just.
So you got to stream it somewhere. Hopefully your connection is good enough to stream it from the cloud and play the games from your library. I don't know. If it's $200, maybe. If it's $250, $300, I don't know if that's going to sell. Okay. I thought it was just in your house at first. All right.
It says remote play, which I believe, like, for the Vita meant if you had the internet connection, certain games you could stream it off of your PS4 and something else.
Okay, you can't play it on a plane. You're not going to have good internet on a plane enough to play it.
No, absolutely not.
At a hotel, you definitely will not have. Most hotel Wi-Fi blows, even the one you pay for.
Mm-hmm.
So now, I'm just saying, I'm trying to think about where would the Wi-Fi be?
Take it over to your friend's house and ignore them? Like,
I mean, how robust? I never did the cloud stream gaming. Like, how robust of a connection do you need for it to be stable enough to get a decent play?
Cloud gaming just doesn't sound appealing to me.
Okay.
I did try it a little bit on the PS4 with, like, streaming PlayStation 3 games, and I hated it.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Moving on.
If this is $200, maybe.
$200, I could see it as an extra fancy controller that some hardcores might buy to leave around, but any more than $200, I can't see it. Because you got to remember, our controller's already $70 to begin with, if you're buying a controller.
Yeah.
So I think there's a way, if they were to actually release it for $200, that you could convince a number of, in the ecosystem Sony fans to buy it.
It's a controller cut in half, an LCD screen, and an internet Wi-Fi connection.
Anything above 200, and I think it's fucking dead on arrival. In the water. Yeah.
Well, we'll see. Well, it doesn't give me. It is 8 inches, right? High definition screen. It doesn't give me confidence that they don't have a name for it yet, but they want to come out this year. That just seems like they need money. They're going to rush this out. I don't know.
It just seems like a really fast idea.
Sure. All right. Well, that's it for this intro.